Hi, Jared with VisibleTour.com, and today we are going to be talking about dynamic range. Yes, we are going to be finally hitting the dynamic range, and we're going to compare it with the Canon R6 and the Canon R7. On the R6, we have the 24-70 RF lens, the 2.8, and the 2.8 15-35. They're both set at their widest zoom, which is the 15mm, equivalent to a 24 frame on the 24mm right there. So trying to get it kind of even. We are at a 4.5 f-stop, so 4.5, 1/60th shutter, and the ISO is 800, which is the base when it comes to C-Log 3. We're doing C-Log 3 Cinema Gamut. If you've done the other ones like Rec 2020 or 709, let me know if those work well for you. I'd love to hear your opinion. I haven't used them a whole lot. I found the Cinema Gamut to be really well controlled. So that is what we're doing today. Right now, we are in C-Log 3. We're gonna try the dynamic range. So obviously we've got a brighter background. I have no lights on me. We're gonna try to lift up the shadows, see what it looks like on my face. We're also gonna push these images a little bit to see if the R7 over here and the R6 over here, which one is gonna be better, which has more noise. My assumption is it would be the R7.
Well, as you might be able to tell already, my assumption was wrong. I am extremely shocked to show that right here, the R7 is actually doing an amazing job. I'm right here in the timeline, so let's kind of move on up to about 100%. And if you look at this, I mean, there's the R6 right there. Let's move it up to 200%. So R6, you can see all the noise right here. They were exposed exactly the same cinema gamut, same shutter speed, same settings on every single thing. Obviously different lenses, but they are both RFL lenses. They are pretty much identical, just different focal lengths. Now look at that. And this noisy R6, still noisy but cleaner looking, really washed out. That's what's really just shocking me completely. The color of my skin is so much nicer, and the color of the leaves are so much nicer, and this is C-Log, and here it's washed out. I had them both set at white balance of daylight. So daylight, this one's super washed out. This one is not. I mean, how can they be so different? And let's even do 400%. So R7. Looking at my eyes, you can obviously see noise. It was very shadowy, so I had to bring it up. So obviously really noisy. Lots of detail still for all that shadow and noise at 400% zoom. And then here you can barely see any detail, and tons of color noise right in there. A lot cleaner. And then if we just go back to the normal, I mean, obviously this is a frame within a frame, but let's just go to 100%. I can't even speak. R6 right here. Lots of noise. Just the colors all by themselves. The color here, bringing in the grade, exact same grade. I'm just using this layer that I put over that covers both of them, and I'm absolutely shocked. I don't even want to do video anymore with the R6. I also wanted to show you the Lumetri Scopes right over here as well. So to the left shows, to the left here, which is the R7, and then to the right, obviously, I'm just spelling this out so you guys know, is the R6. If you look carefully, first of all, just looking at it, they look very similar, but then look at the details here. You're starting to see a lot more detail going on the scope. So where it's starting to rise right here on the left side. Now I know the frames aren't perfect, but you are seeing there's a lot more dynamic range right here than in the R6. So the R7 has a lot more detail, a lot more color and information on the R7 up here compared to the R6 as well. The R7 is also really kind of pushing a little bit past that 100% right here. So it is pushing above there where it pretty much stops with the R6. So the dynamic range is even going above. But then you would think, well, everything must be shifted up a little bit, but it isn't. So look down here on the dark levels. They are going a little bit below the R6 right here. So the R7 actually has more information down here than the R6. It's just shocking to look at it. So then if we were going to put back the adjustment layer, let's see if that, there, just adjusted here. Same exact layer that is applied to both of them. And look, more information in the darks, in the shadows, more in the highlight with the R7. It's just giving a lot more information, and it seems like the R6 is more condensed. Now, it's not drastic, it's not huge, but it is, because if you look at it, it's a lot more information, a lot more color, and a lot more detail in the shadows than, say, the R6 right here. So right now, I would definitely choose the R7 over the R6 for video, and what I thought was going to be loud and noisy isn't. And I really appreciated the R6 for controlling a lot of noise with my video walkthroughs of real estate, but I may need to consider using the R7 in the future with the right lens, because it is rendering like a much more appealing, and this is very underexposed, so appealing picture quality compared to the R6. So just wanted to interject. Let's continue on to the video.
But I'm filming them in their best vision, their best Kodak. So for the R6, it is, what is it called, IBP. I believe it's still IBP when it comes to the R7, but now you've got the fine, which is using the 7K downsampling to 4K. It's going to be sharper. What I've noticed already, before we go any further, is when it comes to the view assist with C-Log, and view assist helps you get an idea of what it's going to look like when you do grade it or get it better graded than what it is right now in the C-Log. The view assist looks a lot different on both of these. There is a lot more shadow when it comes to the R7 than there is the R6. So I'm going to be curious to see if one view assist is more accurate than the other when kind of putting in these color grades at the end. Both autofocus is on and IBIS is turned off because they're on a tripod. Why would I need that?
If you haven't noticed already, the autofocus on the R7 has been amazing, and the R6 has not been. It's been hunting a lot, which is kind of funny because I just did that test last week on autofocus. So in this interview style, the R7 definitely wins for autofocus.
Okay, real quick, I decided I'm just gonna kind of vlog on the R7 here at the 15mm. Again, it is at 4.5 f-stop, 1/60th shutter, 800 ISO, which is the base. Cinema gamut is what I have down for the color spacing. And just seeing, I'm a very shiny guy up here, so we're gonna see what that looks like. Yeah, and again, if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to do a lot more content with camera reviews and lens reviews, especially with the R7 and the R6. So if you are a Canon guy, you shoot a lot of Canon, this might be the channel for you. So I encourage you to subscribe. But this is what, again, it looks like ungraded. This is what it looks like graded. How does that look? Can you see the background well? I'm going to turn on IBIS real quick because I didn't realize that I had IBIS off. So now IBIS is on. We'll see if there's a little bit of wobble in here. We had that video. So if you wanted to know anything about the in-body stabilization when it comes to this camera and lens compared to the R6, check out the other video I did last week. that explains that. Also, if you're new to this series, check out the video I did on autofocus. Now, it is overexposed, but the whole purpose of that video wasn't about exposure. It was about autofocus, and to make it equal outside, I had to do it overexposed at a high aperture.